Hi, Kiahi Palaio here, and today let's talk about the most important part of the transaction, that you hire a real estate agent or broker to manage for you. There's the obvious side, which is let's get you the most money, and that's important. Let's not minimize that. And sometimes people get hung up on getting the price. Sometimes people get hung up on the commission that they're paying. And the title of this video is, forget about the commission. Forget about it, the mob guys would say. And it's important that you understand that, because let me just give you some background. For the vast majority of people, the sale of a piece of real estate is the single largest financial transaction they'll do to that point in their life. All right? The biggest, the largest. Many times it's the most money that they've ever had to deal with, manage, or even think about that they're going to be getting. All right? And that's the real positive side of it, right? It's a lot of money. But what a lot of people don't take into account is there's an equal amount of liability on the other side of the ledger. Let me explain. A worst case scenario on the sale of a property from a liability perspective would be that you sell the property and there's a problem, a buyer sues you, and then a court orders you to unwind the sale and you have to make the buyer whole. Well, if the buyer paid you $1.5 million or $2 million for a property, your exposure on the liability is $1.5 million to $2 million. Now, have I ever seen that happen? No. It's one of those theoretical things that could happen, but has it happened? I have heard it happening in other states, and I have not heard it in Hawaii, but the fact that it never happened, has never happened, doesn't mean that it can't happen or won't happen. And with that as background, my opinion is, for sure, you want to make sure you get someone that's going to get you the highest price. And you want to forget about the commission because, and this, let me just say, you want to forget about it, but you don't want to overpay, right? What you want to make sure you get in your real estate professional is you want, number one, experience, all right? Experience that's going to protect you from different things that they already know about. Now, this is a practice. You get your real estate license, and it's just a license to kill, right? It's a license to go out and get somebody sued or get a broker sued. They only teach you the basics in real estate class so you can pass the test. Everything else is learned on the job. Every transaction you do adds to your experience level. And you want someone that's experienced because they can know what you need to be worried about on a given piece of property. All right? So you need someone that's experienced in that market, in that type of property. Number two, you want someone that has anticipation. All right? Many of the potential problems with the sale of a real estate, a piece of real estate, or a property, or a home, or a condo, can be anticipated beforehand. And the way you anticipate these things is by getting condominium documents in advance and having them reviewed by a lender. You get land surveys on property. You do disclosures in advance. You look at the preliminary title report and see what sort of potential problems are in the preliminary title report. If there's a leasehold disclosure, you review that. If there's anything outstanding beforehand, you need someone that's going to think about it, anticipate what problems they've seen in the past, and then do their best to get the proper disclosures made and see what they can do to minimize the amount of damage done to the transaction from that particular thing. One of the things that I just mentioned, land survey. If there's a encroachment Many times we can get people to take that as is. People don't mind buying properties that have issues. They just want to know about them in advance. So number one, again, experience. Number two, anticipation of potential problems before you start selling the property. And then finally, number three, you want to make sure that your real estate company and agent and broker have errors and omissions insurance. Knock on wood, I've never had to use mine. I do have it. But you want to make sure that that broker has errors and omissions insurance, because it covers you as a seller if for some reason there's a problem where there have been found to have made an error or omitted something that should have been taken care of. They have insurance to take care of the issue. Those are the three things, and I'm sure there are more, but those are the three main things I would look at in hiring a real estate broker to represent you in a sale. Now, as usual, if you would like to have a conversation with me in any of the myriad of ways that we can talk, please reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. And in the meantime, you have a great day.